It's hard to educate a child, and even harder to educate thousands depending on you. Education is not mugging up books. Education is a rigorous discipline. Education is a commitment. Even before you come to class to teach, you help your child with their homework. You send your child to school, and then you get ready to face your own battles. One person, multiple roles, and you strive to do each of them justice. You may not be the best, but you give them the best you know. So don't give up now. Don't give up ever. Give yourself some time and credit. Be you every single day. Be you because nobody can be you better. Hey parents, this is Ambika, Master Teacher of Biology at Vedantu. Now it doesn't matter even if you're a student watching me right now, you can pass on whatever you infer from this particular video to your parents. Okay, so never mind, but this is specifically intended to be part of our Parental Corner series. So let's get started. Now parents, all of you, I'm sure you would agree with me on the fact that parenting can be one of the best experiences ever in life, right? So you definitely know this much better than I do. So I don't have to tell you, but I would just like to share that experience with you and the feeling of it. And I would love it if you could watch this entire video with that feeling in mind. And especially as a teenager's parent, a student, a child who is around 15, 16 years old and is about to appear for a board exam, that too in the Indian curriculum, parents can find it very, very tricky and a little hard to, do their own parts. Parents can also get confused about how they can help, how you can help your child in such a way that your child can come out with flying colors in his or her board exams. No parent definitely wants to stress out his or her child, right? So what is it that you can do? Of course, I completely agree with the fact that every household certainly comes with its own set of do's and don'ts. So I don't want to interfere in all of that. All that aside, there are still three main things that from my limited parenting and teaching experience, I have found to be of great help to parents, especially of teenagers. Okay, so let's get started. Here are three top tips which you can follow to help your child perform much better in his or her board exams. The first one being social media addiction, all about social media addiction. So yes, let's face it, all of us in today's world, we are surrounded by technology in everything, right? Daily basis. Whatever we do, a lot of things are so dependent on technology that we cannot imagine a world without it. But if you just recalled your childhood, how things were back then, even then things used to be a lot fun, right? We probably used to socialize physically with our friends much more than children these days do, because probably social media, of course, it has its own pros and cons, but especially around exam time, it can prove to be a dangerous thing. Addiction to social media, which teenagers are definitely facing in today's world. Adults also, I would say, I would admit, to be honest, that adults also get addicted to social media very, very easily. This is certainly a very dangerous habit. So how is it that we can ensure our children, at least for the next 3-4 months, stay away from social media? Of course, as a parent, you may have certain things that certainly work well between you and your child, but at least ensure that now, because we are towards the end of the month of Jan, and within a month, around 30-40 days from today, your child will be appearing for one of the most important exams in his or her life, right? So keeping that in mind, now is the time, parents, to draw the line between where or how much your child is allowed to use technology and where not to use it. Social media, definitely, I would say, is a big no, because most of the time children get addicted to the fact that they have this feel-good factor when they see how many likes they have received on their posts, how many shares they have received, and all such things. And if you just think about it, these are not going to help in the long run, definitely not in preparing your child for his or her board exams, right? So probably you could make it a point to give a few minutes of the day when your child can use technology. But I would say, as much as possible, hide the phone away from your child's reach so that he or she cannot find it at all. Probably it may be a little difficult if at all your teenager, your child is the type who is strongly addicted to social media. But yes, probably you can start in a small way, and once exams begin for that entire month until the exams are done, maybe you should make it a point to strictly keep them completely away from it. Okay, so think about it, ensure that within the next couple of days you have come up with your own strategies to keep your child away from social media. Secondly, mock papers. Now, to all my dear students, to all my children, I keep talking about mock papers because they are a very, very, very important part of a revision series. Without practicing past year's papers and without practicing mock papers, no exam preparation, especially board exam preparation, can be called complete. No matter how well you know the concepts, practice papers are certainly very important. So yes, now where does your role as a parent come into picture? I would say every day, now that your child has study holidays, I'm hoping your child doesn't have to go to school on a daily basis now because exams are very close, probably only to write pre-boards and probably to collect their answer papers and so on. But if not, I'm assuming they have a lot of study time, self-study time at home. So my sincere suggestion is, make sure you know the timetable of your child's final board exam, okay? And whatever time of the day the exam is going to happen, ensure that you set up an atmosphere for your child at home so that he or she gets a feel of the actual exam, okay? Some children may be responsible enough to do this on their own, but some children may not. They may need a little bit of support from your side, right? So for such children especially, make sure you make them sit in a place that really looks like an exam hall place, and make sure all the books are kept away from the table, and ensure that there is a timer so that your child can actually get the feel of the exam. And of course, make sure you share the question paper 15 minutes in advance, because that's also one important step in examinations these days. Because if it's a 2-hour paper, usually the question papers are distributed 15 minutes before the actual exam starts. So ensure, do your part of research, find out how it actually works, and go ahead exactly by that. If the exam is going to be happening from 9 to 11 in the morning, make sure your child has access to this mock paper at home at the same time. If it's 10 to 1, likewise, okay, and so on. This really, really helps, because try doing this at least once in a day so that when it comes to the actual exam time, your child has really, really got a feel of it and is a lot more stress-free than he or she was before. Okay, so that's the role of mock papers. And finally, timely meals. Now, this is very, very, very important. Teenagers these days get addicted to fast food and junk food very easily. But as parents, again, I don't have to tell you this, because Indian moms are experts at deciding what is the most nutritious meal, what can be the most nutritious meal for their child. So make sure, even in the next few days, over the next couple of days, you do not compromise on the fact that your child is requiring a well-balanced diet. He or she needs a lot of protein, carbohydrate, vitamins, minerals, and a little bit of healthy fat to ensure the brain is optimally functioning. Some teenagers may be children who are very fussy about eating, but even if he or she is like that, find out what they actually need, what they actually like. Ensure that they are not hungry in between self-study sessions so that they can make the best use of the study sessions. And those were my 3 top tips for you as a parent to ensure your child is able to come out with flying colors and do his or her revision sessions properly and optimally. But one last tip that I want to tell you, again, this is not a new thing, something that all of us parents are aware of. Be available always. This is very important, especially during adolescence, because your child, as such, around this age, the brain is still developing, but they are also at a point of life where they want to be considered as grown-ups. But still, even if you ask them, they would admit the fact that they do have a lot of insecurities. So make sure you have this friendly approach with your child, but know where to draw the line. You know your child best, so be available always. Know what your child needs. always be there to listen to them patiently, because teenagers generally communicate well with people they trust. And this trust for them comes from the fact that the people they are talking to are listening to them well enough. So genuinely listen to them and find out what their problems are and support them as and when required. If you would like to add anything more so that other parents can also benefit from this, please do post it in the comment section below. Until we meet again, this is Ambika signing off. Bye bye.